So we told you that we have one pitch to close this show, and this pitch is given by Isabel. Can you introduce us, Isabel? That's your job usually.
We have here Isabel Neduchal from Coliminder, so VWMS, Vienna Water Monitoring Solutions. And she's responsible for sales and marketing, and we will listen now to her pitch.
Thank you very much. I'm so pleased, Antoine and Björn, to be here. And I'm delighted to have the chance to introduce to you our Coliminder, which is a system for fully automatic measurements of microbiological water quality. First of all, let me ask you a question. How can you obtain a real-time result of microbiological water quality?
It's impossible, right?
For the time being. This is actually the problem we are addressing. Microbiological quality is measured or estimated by a WHO standardized method, which is on and accepted since over 100 years and applied as well as a manual lab method. It's based on proliferation, cultivation of the respective bacteria of interest. It takes up to 5 days to obtain a result. That means that you would close, for instance, a beach for swimming tomorrow because the contamination has been occurred yesterday. Imagine this is not really suitable in terms of digitalization, of real-time monitoring, of data control, and so on. So this is how the Coliminder comes into play. I'll just introduce quickly the key features because I'm more of the kind of, showing to you examples of customers using the Coliminder. Its key features are it's, the size of a desktop PC. It is fully automatic. So it can operate completely standalone without any manual interruption up to 1,000 measurements. Because it is an online device, draining or drawing the sample in, fully automated, doing a cleaning of the entire system after each measurement, which is very important. It is recalibrating itself. It's built for the internet age, so everything is online. Obtaining results remotely is possible, as well as even controlling the device with your mobile device from every point in the world through VPN access. It only takes 15 minutes from sampling to result. Here is the key feature of what is the huge difference between the traditional culture-based lab method and our Coliminder. And thus, it is a process monitoring device. It is used for process control in any type of water. It can be used in ultra-pure water. It's sensitive enough to even measure the slightest deviation from a baseline contamination. But it can even measure highest contaminated wastewater with up to 80 million CFU per 100 ml equivalent. You can use it in any type of water. Our customers, over 100 customers already all around the globe, are using it mostly for process monitoring, process control, for early warning as well. Let me just give a first example of one of our customers, which is Eau de Paris. Paris is the city of the Olympic Games 2024. And they actually intend to do the swimming competition in Seine River, for at least the ones for the triathlon competition. And as they know that Seine River sometimes is facing E. coli contamination,
La Seinoise, à consommer avec beaucoup de modération.
They have already started in 2019 to look for the most suitable technology to monitor the water where the competition participants are going to swim. And they have actually validated the Coliminder to use it as a final decision-making instrument, using the contamination levels as an indication whether they are going to allow swimming or not, because they simply cannot use the traditional test which has been done 24 hours before. One of our other customers is one of Europe's biggest mineral water bottling company. They are called Rom Aqua. They are located in Romania, but one of the biggest by volume per year they are bottling. And they are using the Coliminder throughout the entire bottling process. One device has 2 sample intakes serially, so they have placed it at the intake of the natural mineral water coming in, monitoring both water intakes they have in alternating mode to see whether contamination levels are all right. They are taking grab samplings from all over the bottling process, including the bottle washing machine and including the final product, and insert it into the second sample intake to see whether also in the process there is no contamination building up. Latest pilots also have shown that the Coliminder works very, very well even in ultra-pure water for semiconductor production. It's even sensitive enough for water for injection in pharmaceutical production. It's absolutely made to be deployed in a process, to monitor process performance, even before, after a filter, before, after a membrane. You can see whether the membrane is working properly. And customers all over the globe already appreciate that. We can see it by our customers using the Cooling-Minder. It is used to make processes more efficient, safer, and also more sustainable, and thus contributes its little, small, but impactful role to circular economy and water reuse.
Thank you very much, Isabel. Very insightful. I have a question. If I am the operator, for instance, of a small waterwork very close, and I have a UV and disinfection, and as well, I do have, let's say, the regulation perspective that I just have to measure twice a year. That's all I have to do. Why should I have such a very cool and very innovative technology to measure the bacteria all the time?
Number one, it doesn't have to be every 15 minutes. You can set the measurement frequency to whatever is your requirement. We recommend basically to any new customer at the beginning to measure with a higher frequency and then sort of see where the dynamics of the system ends. And that is maybe the key word to answer your question. Every system, even if it's a groundwater wall in a small waterworks, just here in Lower Austria, every system got its dynamics. These are maybe higher in a produced water system or water treatment system, and lower maybe when it comes to groundwater, but the dynamics are there. And you will never be able to catch a dynamics of a water body when measuring twice a year. This is how the Cooling-Minder comes into play. You can see what's the dynamics of your system when it comes to microbiological load, and it also enables quick reaction. You will never ever see a fireworks anymore crossing or running on the street announcing a boil water order.
But still, you said clearly it is still not required by law. Still, the other method by having the Petri dish, right, is still the most common way and part of the water law, call it this way. And this would be addition to help the operator, or what is the benefit for the operator if he has not to do that?
Number one, I'd like to add a little information to you. It is indeed in part of the directive kind of regulations, because in WHO, but also EU Drinking Water Directive, they invented the concept of operational monitoring, which is the opposite of adding the real-time parameter to the compliance testing. They are aware that compliance testing of E. coli bacteria or whatever kind of microbiological water quality takes time, and they are aware that new methods are there. So they introduced the concept of operational monitoring to add a real-time information to the compliance testing, which we don't seek to replace at all. The benefit for the operator is that he sees exactly, he sort of opens up a window, he gets an insight, he gets the knowledge of an actual contamination, probable contamination of the sample, and thus can react quickly on any probable events and even optimize the disinfection process.
I have a very concrete question. At the very beginning of your pitch, you explained how your system auto-calibrates. First, I'd be interested to understand how it does that. And more broadly speaking, what is the maintenance interval of your system? How often would you have to run a regular maintenance on it? How often does the operator have to touch it?
So number one, about the calibration, all devices are calibrated here before they are being shipped to the customer according to the scientific definition of the respective enzymatic activity it is monitoring. And the recalibration is a sensor calibration, a light sensor calibration. It uses the rinsing water, which it needs for operation anyway, which is DI or RO or any kind of deionized water. It is using that one as a blank test. The Cooling-Minder is built to be robust, so we try to include a low maintenance level from the beginning of the development of the device onwards. It's got a reagent holding capacity of 1,000 measurements, so you just insert the reagents inside of the device. They have to be cooled, but the cooling unit is there. You insert 1,000 measurements. So there is no manual intervention then after 1,000 measurements to refill consumables. That includes the reagents, but also rinsing water and washing agent. And the other maintenance recommend is every other year an exchange of the internal tubing. That takes 5 minutes for our technicians and maybe 30 to 40 minutes for a technician using the manual we have for that.
Yet if I do the maths, if I take an interval of every 15 minutes, so that makes 4 times an hour, that makes 100 times a day, that makes 10 days of autonomy. So every 10 days, if I'm using the maximum level of measurement, every 10 days my operator has to refill. So I need to have access to the device at least every second week.
I have to add an information which we didn't yet address. It takes 15 minutes from the sampling to the result, but every measurement cycle is followed by a cleaning cycle, which takes another 10 to 12 minutes. So I would say every 30 minutes you have a measurement in continuous mode. That makes 48 measurements per day, so a double of manual intervention or double of autonomy time.
Last question on my end, how do you do the digitization part of the story? Do you connect to a cloud? Do you connect to a data logger? What's your approach to that?
Well, every Coolie-Minder has got a modem built in, and you just insert a data SIM card, and the Coolie-Minder automatically connects to the internet and connects to a dedicated server where it is sending the measurement results to. Actually, every 2 seconds, it is sending some raw data to avoid falsification of results, because one measurement is sort of validating the other, so you would not be able to falsificate any results. So our customers can either choose to get the measurement results through the dedicated website where they have access to with their own account, or they can use Modbus TCP for a local interface, data interface. We offer a standard API like from our kind of cloud solution to another cloud solution of the customer. It's made for the internet age and fully integratable into existing data systems.
What's your business model? Are you selling the units? Are you doing data as a service? Are you crunching the data for your customer? What do you sell?
We have a CapEx business model. We sell the devices, and then we add on top a printer toner business model, because you need the reagents, I said before. So every device in the field measuring needs reagents, so we have like an ongoing recurring revenue model on that. We are still not prepared, as often we've been asked already, to provide measurement as a service, but that's something we're about to outsource to our distribution partners, because we don't serve the entire world from here in Lower Austria. We have distribution partners all over the globe in most of the main regions, and they are starting to offer measurement as a service, but that's not our business model. They buy the device and the reagents from us.
Thank you very much, Isabel. Good luck with the journey, and hope to hear more about you and the Coolie-Minder.